OBA FEMI versus Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell was just confirmed for SummerSlam. Raw is over. Let's talk about it. Guys, I don't know if I've ever been this excited for a WWE Premium Live event. I don't think I've even fully wrapped my head around this yet. That, dude, and not even just this match. Roman versus Seth is confirmed too. This is truly unbelievable. So the show kicked off with OBA FEMI coming out to the ring, and then he was shortly interrupted by Brock Lesnar, who actually cut a really good promo, even though promos have never really been his thing. Oba cut a great promo too. He hit a low blow on Oba and hit an F5, and as he was about to walk out, Oba challenged him to the match at SummerSlam, and then Brock upped the ante by saying, let's make it a Hell in a Cell match. I was already thrilled with just Brock versus Oba, but then I got, like, it's literally, Hell in a Cell is my favorite match type, and dude, this is so crazy. This is obviously the right decision to do this, and I am so glad that they did it. SummerSlam is going to be genuinely insane. It might even be bigger than last year's SummerSlam, even with the heist of the century, even with Brock Lesnar's return. Let's not forget, on the road to SummerSlam or at SummerSlam, we could get the return of Kevin Owens. We could get the return of The Rock. We could get the return of Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. Like, this is so insane. SummerSlam is really, really feeling like that big WrestleMania level show that WWE is trying to make it feel like. I have literally no complaints about this, but I do have one question. What does OBA FEMI do? Because he is still King of the Ring. When the winner of the King of the Ring, as we know, gets a world title shot at specifically SummerSlam. So, my question, now that we got Roman versus Seth too, is Oba gonna give up the crown? Is he going to take Seth's spot? Is he gonna make it a triple threat? Is he, like, what is he going to do? Is Brock gonna squash Sammy, win the title, and then that way Oba can challenge Brock? Although that wouldn't be very smart, because that, like, Oba already would have a match with Brock anyways, so it wouldn't really make sense for him to do that. So I don't know what's going to happen with the crown, but honestly, I do not care, because I am the happiest man ever right now. Then we had a Joe Hendry concert with the Street Profits, and I was really hoping that this wasn't going to be about Logan Paul or The Vision, because I don't want him to be stuck feuding with them. But unfortunately, it was. He was interrupted by Austin Theory. They ended up having a match, and Joe Hendry picked up the win. I really hope that Joe Hendry just isn't stuck in the Vision vortex for too long. Then we had the Queen of the Ring, Io Sky, come out and cut a promo, who was then interrupted by Olivia Morgan. Liv talked a little smack, and then Raquel and Roxanne showed up, and they ganged up on her, beat her up, and I fully expected this is where Stephanie Vaquer was going to return, and I was sitting there waiting, and then it just never happened. And I honestly, I'm really surprised. I really hope they still add Stephanie to this triple threat. I know there's still a lot of time before SummerSlam, but I feel like it made a lot of sense for Stephanie to return here. Either way, though, I'm still very excited for Liv versus Io, but again, hopefully they add Stephanie. Then we had a match between Big Jim Uso and L.A. Knight. Yeah! Put on a pretty good match. Jey Uso said a lot of funny stuff on commentary, and Solo ended up interfering with the match. Solo ended up getting involved, and Jimmy still ended up winning with the help of Jey Uso. I'm very glad that Solo is not going after Roman Reigns. I was very worried about that. And I will be interested to see whether or not LA Knight and Solo end up teaming up. I think they will because of the numbers game. Maybe we'll get a tag match at Saturday night's main event in Madison Square Garden between LA Knight, and Solo teaming up against the Usos. And then at SummerSlam, get Jey Uso versus LA Knight, Pretty good match, though. It just did to see how it culminates. Then we had a match between J.D. McDonough and Chad Gable. And before they came out, they trashed Danhausen's lab, and Dom stole Danhausen's New York Knicks jersey, which I really loved. As expected, this was an absolute heater of a match. Of course, Dom tried to get involved. However, Chad Gable was still able to pick up the win, as he should. Really still hoping that they don't overthink it, which I'm starting to get a little more faith because they haven't been overthinking stuff as far as SummerSlam booking so far, but I'm really hoping they don't overthink it and not do Gable versus Penta for the IC title because we need that. And also, I forgot to mention this, Jay said that he is going over to SmackDown to go after Sami Zayn, so that might be our whatchamacallit, our SummerSlam match for Sami Zayn. And Jacob said he's going over to SmackDown to feud with Solo, which, I mean, that's just really unfortunate. I mean, they culminated their feud a year ago. We don't need to revisit it. Hopefully it doesn't last too long, though. But back to Chad Gable versus JD. Danhausen came out and stole his jersey back and pranked Dom and JD. But then Raquel Dirty came in and attacked Danhausen and took the jersey back. Shame on you, Raquel Rodriguez. He's just going to end up cursing literally everyone in the Judgment Day. I mean, literally 3 of their 6 members are already cursed. 3 of their 5 members, Dom, JD, and Liv, are all cursed. I am very intrigued to see how this plays out. Maybe Jelly Roll will return, and he'll team up with Danhausen against the Judgment Day at SummerSlam or something, because we know WWE loves their celebrities at WrestleMania and SummerSlam. And then in the main event, oh my god, I was expecting OBA FEMI to come out, and I kind of just removed Seth Rollins from my mind. I didn't even really think about him, which was kind of stupid. He said, Atlantic City, acknowledge me. He talked a little bit, and then Burn It Down, Seth Rollins music hits, and I'm like, oh my god, I nearly exploded. And I'm not talking about like a bomb. But I still figured that at some point, OBA FEMI would come out and interrupt them and take Seth Rollins' spot. However, that did not end up happening, but I am not going to complain because, when WWE has been booking bad for months on end up until about 2 days ago, you kind of just take what you can get, even if it doesn't make all the sense in the world. Like, it would have made sense since Oba literally said he was going to challenge him to come out and take Seth's spot, but he didn't. But again, I am not going to complain because this is a match I've been wanting to see for so long. Ever since I found out the history of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, I've wanted to see this match at a big stage, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, something like that. And obviously, Roman Reigns being my favorite wrestler of all time, this is a dream come true. And I get to see it in person with my own 2 eyes. I can't comprehend that. I mean, this is insane. This card they've announced 3 matches, and it is looking like the greatest SummerSlam of all time. And this was an amazing promo too, by the way, from Seth. He did basically all the talking. He brought up their past. He brought up how he pinned him at WrestleMania 41. He brought up how he sacrificed himself so Cody could win the title at WrestleMania 40. And how Seth has owned him ever since he put a chair in his back. And then Roman Reigns hit him with the little brother and accepted the challenge because he realized, like Seth said, you're not going to have many more chances to beat me. And Roman realized that and accepted the challenge for SummerSlam. And oh my God, I cannot wait for this. This is genuinely insane. I've never been this excited for a WWE Premium Live event ever. And I honestly don't even care who wins because I am getting to see this absolutely insane dream match. This episode of Raw was unbelievable. I cannot wait, man. And I hope that SmackDown can be amazing too, especially with the brand new shakeup of Sami Zayn as undisputed champion. But that is going to be it for this episode of the Raw Review. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and